you doing? Welcome to the news. So we're stepping up to the podium and acknowledging and looking out at the universe. This podium that you all are with me at are looking out. It's gazing into the world. It's gazing into the universe. It's gazing into obscurity. It's gazing into the sky. If you ever just stand back and sit down and relax and look up at the sky, you'll realize there's a whole lot of little energies up in the sky, and they're swirling and twirling, and it's very peculiar because you don't know really what they're doing, but if you look at them, there's circles inside of them as well, or whatever their shape is. It can be whatever the shape is. It is, but the shape in this instance, in the for example instance that we're talking about and that we're thinking about long term is circles, because circles correspond to developing a business energy. It is business energy. It's business monetary energy. Oh yeah, and the whole world needs a little bit of intro music, because this is very grand. It's grandiose for sure to step up to that podium and look out into that abyss of madness, of obscure range of wandering universe, endlessness of that is filled with assets. It's filled with assets. It's the asset sky, and it has to do with all this percolating energy that has to do with assets. Oh yeah, bum 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 ba dum ba rum bum dum da rum bum bum da 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 da. It's that excessive intense music. Oh yeah, that's turned up during the sequences of certain cart horse chases in certain films in the past. Just use your imagination. Whatever ones those are, just put it in now, insert it now. In addition to what I just said. Oh yeah. So that music is supposed to correspond to all the assets that are grandiose in the world, and by that I mean the actual volume, the sheer volume of assets in the world. Oh yeah, and this is the purpose, is to acknowledge the asset trader that's inside of all people. All people are asset traders. All people are also marketing agencies, basically, in that basic sense, because they have the ability to acknowledge all of these assets to begin with, and this market for assets to begin with, and then to be able to withdraw from this mindset, to be able to then try to add a certain level of their own frequency to be able to grow assets, indeed, by combining and collaborating their own assets to be able to, as themselves as an asset, to be able to grow other people's assets necessarily. But it is necessary to begin with, and that's why this introduction situation and such things, and production of this corresponding audio messages, to be able to acknowledge this world of assets. Like, you step up to this podium and you're looking out at the universe with us. We're all doing it together, all together, because everyone in the universe is assets as well. And that's one way to look at it to begin with, to start with. But then there's many assets in terms of collaborating different molecules that have to do with connecting different molecules of different energies that have to do with differing asset energies, and those asset energies basically equal a circle. So, and then also, to try to make that shorter, we'll take a circle. We'll have a circle symbolize value energy. Value energy has to do with the potential for growth. It has the potential to be a seed. For example, you have an idea. For example, that you can draw a circle around that. That energy that has potential to grow. That then could therefore be something that could potentially grow. Like pens, for example. If you want to sell pens, for example, that pens with little flying saucers on the top of them, like they spin and they fly like little drone pens. So that's adding something to something else. There's value in that, because it would just entertain people, and then people could hang things from their levitating pens. Like little drone pens. And they could hover in class. It could be cool for people. That's value. So you could draw a circle around that. There's so much value in the world. Oh my god, it's so much value in the world. Oh my god. There's potential value. It's potential value. It's not realized value. That is what this is all about. That's what Dinky Tehc and Change4Games Studios is all about. Is trying to acknowledge potential value, trying to acknowledge that there's so much value in the world. Oh my gosh, so much value in the world when you're stepping back and you're able to look forward and you're able to look at the ecosystem and the pipeline that entails many energies that are outside in the world. You are doing it like you're looking out into the abyss, like you're looking out into the ocean, in the universe, like in the sky. Because there's so much. There is such a huge sea, and the first part of the podcast is to be able to acknowledge that this sea even exists. You have to acknowledge that this sea even exists of assets to begin with, so that you can empower yourself as an investor and a marketing agency, which is both, because you have to you can empower yourself as a marketing agency to grow certain things, certain ideas, certain elements, certain circles, and grow them. That's your marketing agency side. And then at the same time, being able to recognize certain value and the potential for something to grow is also the investor side. The investor side of you. So all people are playing this game. All people in the world are playing this game. All people are involved, are included, because everybody has this energy to think. For the most part, if you have the energy to be part of society, then you have the energy to acknowledge value, because you have the ability to acknowledge value, because you have things that are valuable around you that you find value in, because it makes you happy, and therefore that just empowers everybody to have that ability to be able to cash in on that ability, to be able to use those abilities to be able to translate it into the investing world and the marketing agency world. In essence, for example, And just this acknowledgement empowers everybody, because everybody is able to use these mindsets to be able to translate their own actions into being able to day trade attention, basically being able to day trade and put themselves into the day trading mindset, because all of their attention is being traded. You're trading your attention for one thing or another, and when you have your mindset on assets, for example, your mind becomes a portfolio, and your mind becomes a portfolio that you can choose. You can choose what's in it, and you can choose if you're going to choose assets inside the portfolio, for example, and therefore you have many assets on your mind, and therefore your assets can continue to accumulate, and therefore you can improve on those assets to become stronger and have more connection to more monetary energy. And monetary energy is actually a connection to more things that are more valuable in the world. The more the world thinks of things as valuable, the more demand that the world, as a collective sense, thinks about things, the more demand there are on certain things, and there's more monetary energy attached to those things, for example. And so as a result, you're also able to continue to play the global game of investing, the global game of marketing agency, which means influencing the circle energy by being able to acknowledge these things, these values in the world. Oh yeah, so we'll draw circles around all values in the world, and then you can wireframe across all energies to be able to make yourself, empower yourself further into these energies, and to your ability to become an investor, and to your ability to become a marketing agency. Oh yeah. So what you do is you take that circle, and then you can actually, either whether it's a business circle, whether it's in the private markets, or whether it's in the public markets, it doesn't matter. If it's an asset value, if it's an asset energy, for example, it's potential energy, it's potential value. Oh yeah, it means it can grow into more. Oh yeah, it means if you have the right tools and the right things connect to it, and the right things in the marketplace happen in the right way, because there's demand around it, so other people can gravitate to it, and other people can buy it, and there's potential market and monetary energy that can grow from it as a result. Oh yeah. So how we're all playing this game is in essence by acknowledging these things to begin with. You have to acknowledge this ecosystem to begin with. You have to stand up at the podium, and we're all standing there together. Oh yeah. And how I guess I'm going to transition from this is into something that's kind of another marketing lesson. In my opinion, it's a marketing lesson. It's something I think that is empowering, and something unique, and something that I just started today. It's this mindset that just sort of started today. And what that entails is acknowledging that you are able to, basically, you have to work for your employees. It's necessary to work for all your employees. That's like, it's kind of step one into this methodology, this mindset methodology, is that step one, you acknowledge that you are always working for your employees, because that's a necessity to work for your employees. It's not that they work for you, it's that you work for your employees. So if you're paying somebody $100,000 a month, $100,000 a year, or you have an intern, well, it doesn't matter necessarily. You're working for them. You're working for those people, because you're giving them the entitlement. You're giving them the ability to have an ability to connect with a cause. Oh yeah, and you're supposed to stoke their fires. Oh yeah, that's your job, for them working for your company, whether you pay them or not necessarily. So within that same frame of mind, you need to be able to take and transpose that mindset into acknowledging that everybody who is a conceptual potential consumer, everybody that's in your conceptual potential audience, this is step two. This is step two to the mindset. It's basically acknowledging that every single person that is inside of your ecosystem is, in essence, an employee. You have to then start to think about every single person inside of your audience, inside of every single person inside of your ecosystem as an employee. Why? Why is that? Because if every single person, anybody in the world that can possibly conceptualization can potentially consume your product, that they are therefore an employee. Because why? Because you still work for them, and you still want to have also maintain and sustain that mindset that you actually do work for them. But you have to think about it like a commissary. Like if you're at a commissary, and then you have the chef at the commissary. For example, the chef is like the person who is making all the food. He's putting together all the food. He's concocting all the meals and such. But all the people that visit the commissary are actually consuming the meals. They're consuming the meals. So therefore, when they walk away, the meals become a part of them. So therefore, those meals are a part of their daily life. So therefore, that meal is a part of the person's energy, that person's existence, that person's consistent persistence and existence in life and in time and in space as they go on in their life, with their time and their mind, and all those things that are connected to the frame of eating, the frame and the scope of eating as a whole. So that commissary, it serves a purpose. Then the story and the marketing for that commissary necessarily can extend far beyond just the food in the commissary, because it's not just food necessarily, it's the experience that's involved in the food necessarily, and it's also the things that the chef makes, for example, for instance, that hopefully are healthy, and that is part of the story, because all those little things, all those conceptual possibilities for all those people, all those turns and twists and turns that people can take with their lives after they've eaten the food, after they've conceptually consumed the food, all those different conceptual potential stories are all different stories that can be used in marketing. All those potential twists and turns in the stories, the narratives, for the brand, for the commissary, for example, for the chef, for all of those things, for both of those things, because they're both part of the same business, are possible to be able to be used because every single person that's in that commissary that's eating and consuming the food, that's consuming and delving into the food and diving in and making it a part of their soul, making it a part of their body and mind and soul, and consuming it because it then becomes a part of them. They're merging with the food. They're becoming one with the food. So therefore, anybody that consumes any product of yours, they're consuming it and they're merging with your product. So therefore, if they're going to go as far as to merge with your product, then in essence, they connect with your product. They become one with your product in a similar fashion because they're consuming your product. That's a word, is consumption of your product, for example. So therefore, when that consumption occurs, they are therefore one with your product. So of course, someone who's consuming and conceptually connected in that way with your product is in essence connected to your brand and to your product and to your pipeline of energy, of a force, for example, and they are therefore an employee because they are therefore touting your brand. They are consuming your brand. Their brand is a part of you, you're a part of them, and you've exchanged eternal energy because you've made that initial transaction, and that is very deep and powerful indeed, and conceptually very unique, because then they therefore are consuming and they have become one, because you only have so many things you can put on your plate in this life. So if they put it on their plate, then that plate has to do with things that they're consuming and the things that is involved in their life and their lifestyle, and therefore it is a part of their life. So that part of their life is a piece of their pie, of their 100% pie, and therefore it has the ability to translate into all aspects of their life, and therefore it becomes a part of their just organic marketing, because they therefore are emitting whatever your product is, and they become part of your product because you have exchanged energy in that fashion. And so therefore they are also an employee because they work for you, because you have done something for them, they've done something for you, but at the same time they have merged with you and you've merged with them in an energetic sense. And so therefore, because you work for your employees, therefore you work for them as well. But at the same time, you want that narrative to go deep. Deep is what I'm talking about, so that therefore in the marketing sense, you can connect with this mindset that you are an employee of all your potential customers as well. It's also like you're connecting and becoming deeply connected in a more conceptual, potential, conceivable, conceptual, mental, potential, conceptual level with all of your potential customers as well, not even just the ones that have already eaten with you or consumed with you already, but necessarily ones that have never served you. This is how you can serve them. This is how, when you talk to them, when you can make conceivable messages to people, it's you sell them this experience of getting deeper, of getting more in depth, of how you have a more in-depth way of serving them, of how they become basically an employee for you, and they're also part of a community and a culture that is basically something that they're contributing to when they join and participate as part of the culture. They are therefore part of the culture, and you're exchanging values because they exchange energy into your culture, you exchange culture into their energy, and therefore it is a great reciprocal back and forth relationship, especially in the marketing sense, and therefore it's very interesting and unique and interesting and conceptually beneficial to be able to think of all your conceptual customers as well as employees, even though you can already think of just your actual customers as employees, but you can take it one step further and think of conceptual customers as employees by then therefore trying to connect with them in a sort of a ESP, a meditative level, where you can connect with them on a deeper level before you've even met them, and therefore you're like giving them value because you're connecting with them through the airwaves, and you're giving them deeply value without even knowing them or necessarily talking to them, but for the first time, because you know they all eat food, that in essence you're able to connect with them by giving them that positive experience of just giving them that deep essence of nourishment, of food nourishment, for example, in a physical sense, but in a metaphorical sense, you're giving them that marketing nourishment, that interpersonal, that emotional nourishment. Indeed. And so therefore, before they even start working for you and they become a customer, they already work for you because they want that devotion through the culture that you're able to provide and offer, and it's a deeply connected, rooted ability to connect with someone before you've ever even connected with them, and hopefully it's a vibrational mindset that you could be able to connect with in this instance and going forward. And and then once they hear your marketing messages, are able to start working for you because they want to start consuming your product. And in essence, it's a metaphor, but it is hopefully valuable to be able to consider all your customers and potential customers as employees, because then therefore it offers the ability for you to be able to start working for them as a potential customer or a real customer. Then you are just in yourself as a person who's working for your employees, deeply starting to work for these people in terms of the greater global cause that you're trying to promote and do that for, because that's the purpose of your business to begin with, is having a greater global cause and making global greater awareness, which is the purpose that I have always been talking about, greater global games and global giving games for that purpose, because it's like a metaphor for changing in the world and deeply more connecting with philanthropic energy, which has to do with playing games for philanthropy and making philanthropy the biggest part of the business that is part of the future, because that makes the world in the future the best part of the potential world, of the potential future world in the future, because then therefore we're connecting with the deepest root of business as is possible by connecting with that root of philanthropy at all given times, and all the marketing messages to all given all given business messaging in the future, and that is the way we want to connect with people and through our pipelines of connection in the future, like basically like Dinky Tehc, for example, in our world, in Dinky Tehc and Change4Games Studios, Dinky Tehc is a symbol of the ball, for example, in a sport, and then Change4Games Studios is like the environment, it's like the world, it's like the goal, for example, and it's like Quidditch, like the Harry Potter game, for example. It's like the ball of Dinky Tehc, which the purpose is the mentality and the mindset that the ball stands for. For example, it's a metaphor for the ball, and like in Quidditch, it's like the Quidditch game, it's like the Quidditch field, but also it's like the goals, and Change4Games Studios, so it's like a symbol for the goals. So you want to take that Quidditch ball and you want to put it through the goals, so you want to take yourself, you want to make it into a mindset, you want to make that into an asset mindset, like we were just talking about, like that marketing mindset, just by transposing into the mentality of thinking about the right things in the right way and in line with the right value systems to be able to connect with the hardcore serving of your clients and your clientele so that they love you, you love them, and therefore you make yourself into that ball that is part of that game and that Change4Games mentality mindset in the world, and therefore you're playing towards philanthropy energy, and you throw yourself through your goals, and you throw yourself through your goals like a sport. And that's how we want the global giving games to be able to spawn and span around the world, and by taking everybody who's already a player in this existing game and in this existing realm and talking about things that I was just talking about by acknowledging such things as the fact that, everybody in the world is already, in essence, like an employee and a customer, if you will, in a certain respect, to a degree, of the global giving games, because that's the greater energy that we're all a part of, in essence, in the greater sense of the game that we're playing, in essence, because that's what the business world that we're all playing the game in as a part of as of now, anyway, is trying to cater towards. Anyways, it's just a different reframing and a different market to be able to play it to, in a different way, and a different tune and a different frequency to be able to play it to, in essence, is that we're all trying to play the global giving games, because that therefore makes it more fun to play the game of business, and therefore we can all frame our own energies that is part of the global ecosystem of business energy anyways, into triangulating more towards the direction of philanthropy energy by playing global giving games in a physical sense with all of each other, and acknowledging our power as investors and as marketing agencies, in essence, to be able to influence everybody's wireframes, which are connected to all the circles in the world. All the circles in the world equals all the value in the world. When you stand back and you look at that podium and you look at the sky, all these floating energies in the sky, there's so much value in the sky, there's so much potential energy in the sky, and those equal circles, and then all the wireframes that come off of those circles, like AI art, like I've talked about making child books for AI art that come off of each circles, because they basically in 3 steps tell the experience and the destination, and how the philanthropy is at the back end, and how the product is trying to be the hero by providing philanthropy at the back end. So you have the circle at the top, and then you have the 3 wireframes underneath the bottom, so you can unpack and then repack circles in the world, like as business companies, to see which direction that they're going in and such things, and then which direction that you want them to go in, because you can reframe and you can remake and you can reconfigure and you can remake the art, the AI art, for example. You can use AI to make art, to be able to make those wireframes, those storyboard child books, for example, to make it simple and simplify the direction of any given energy in any given company. If you have control over it as a marketing agency, for example, or as an investor, for example, you can map out the direction in terms of philanthropy energy that things are going in, and the more philanthropy energy, the better for companies, for the future of companies, for the sustainability of companies, because the more help, the more impact, the better in life. Oh yeah, the more impact, the more help in life. So hopefully this quantifies how Dinky Tehc and Change4Games Studios. Dinky Tehc is like an energy, and Change4Games Studios is like the game. It's like the environment for the game, realistically. Oh yeah, it's just like the environment. It's the field that everybody's already playing on. In essence, and we want everybody in a more hardcore sense to be like, oh yeah, Dinky Tehc's working for us, because they know that in essence, Dinky Tehc is absolutely working for them, because it's not a matter of everyone being an employee, but it's a matter of everyone being implored by the new idea, the new concept, and inspired to be able to want to play the global giving games, and therefore they're all basically employees of Dinky Tehc, because Dinky Tehc works for them. So it's like a transposition flip mindset, because Dinky Tehc works for them, and he wants to find the best way to work for them, and the best way to work for them is to be able to want to work for your employees, and the best and the most and the best ways that you can work for somebody or anybody is that you're combined and aligned with somebody who's trying to work for you, and there's reciprocal mindset and exchange of energy and flow and positivity. And therefore, if somebody's in any kind of a way an employee, because there's any way that there's a benefit exchange, that's how it is necessarily like an employee in that respect. There's an exchange, it's a back and forth, it's a reciprocal cyclical energy. And therefore, that's how you're like exchanging energies as employees and such things, and back and forth, because you always want to work for your employees more than anyone, harder than anything else, because that therefore inspires them, inspires inspiration, inspires colors, electricity, factory flow, and more magic to be able to flow from the spout of the factory, the foundation that we're all making together in this one world economy that we're all working on together. And that's what our foundational hope and goal and interest and purpose is all aligned with in the short and the long term sense. So thanks again, and I hope this was valuable after all, and thanks for spending time with me today, and you're lovely as well. Just wanted to mention that. Okay, yeah, alright, thanks again, Dinky Tehc, bye, peace, bye.